Hey everybody, it's Booray from Tampa, Florida, and settle in because we have a lot to talk about. In this video, I am going to talk about the new IPC, the new International Photographic Competition from PPA, Professional Photographers of America. All right, so you might as well grab a cup of coffee because we're going to be here for a bit. I've got a lot to talk about. Man, this is exciting stuff. Okay, so Before I get started talking about this stuff, I want to make something perfectly clear. This is not an official PPA video. I do not work for PPA. I'm not an employee of PPA. I am not on the board of directors. I am not a counselor with the PPA. I am not even currently serving on a committee with the PPA. I'm just a guy who's a member of the PPA who is going to be doing some stuff with PPA for the IPC, International Photographic Competition, and there's been an embargo on this information going out until now. So now we're free to talk about it, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just talking about IPC with you, so please keep in mind that there's a very good chance I'll get something wrong. I might, that I'm not the authority on this. For that, you need to talk to Rich. Those of you who are PPA members, you know who I'm talking about, Rich Newell, and Rich runs PPA, IPC, and Rich is the final arbiter, the final decision maker on all of this stuff. But I do know a lot of stuff. And so I wanted to come and talk about it on the channel today because I know people are anxious to find out what's going to be happening with IPC this year because it is changing. Okay, so before we get started, I know a lot of people who are watching from my channel are people who aren't involved with IPC and they're not involved with PPA either. So I want to kind of catch you guys up just a little bit so you kind of get a feel for what we're talking about. It's very interesting. Even if you're not involved, you might want to get involved. Those of you who know all about this stuff, you can skip ahead a few minutes if you want to. So PPA is the Professional Photographers Association of America. Actually, it's Professional Photographers of America. I always add the association in there. And it is the largest photographic association in the world, and it is one of the oldest associations in America. It was founded over 150 years ago. In fact, if you've ever watched the Ken Burns documentary on the Civil War, you know, all those photos that were taken of the Civil War battlefields, the guy who took those photos, he was a founding member of PPA. It is a big organization. I think at this point maybe 35,000 members in the organization. It is run out of 2 floors in downtown Atlanta, Georgia by a big staff. They put on a giant convention every year called Imaging USA. It takes place in January. It's the largest photographic convention in the world. Usually about 10,000 photographers are there. If you've never been, it will change your life. It really will. It's like a week of classes and seminars and a giant trade show, and everybody is there. And it's really wonderful to be at a trade show or in a room and look around, and everybody in that room is a photographer. You know, everybody's got something in common. Everyone can talk to you. Everyone can help you. So Imaging USA is fantastic. Go every year. They also offer insurance. I get my liability insurance through them. There's equipment insurance that comes with the membership. They have a certification program so you can become a certified professional photographer. They have so much to offer. I've been involved now for probably 15 or so years, and it's really helped me as a professional photographer and has introduced me to thousands, literally thousands of photographers around the world who are now my friends. So PPA, get involved. I'll put links, by the way, down in the description to everything that I'm talking about today. So that's PPA, and that's the organization. It is run by the members. The members elect counselors from their state. The counselors elect the board of directors. The board of directors hires the CEO. The CEO hires the staff and runs the whole thing. So it's nonprofit, and it's a fantastic organization to be a part of. So that's what PPA is. Now, within PPA, they have this thing called IPC. IPC stands for International Photographic Competition. It is the largest competition in the world, I do believe, for professional photographers. I could be wrong. Correct me. Somebody, PPA people, if I'm wrong about that, correct me down in the comments. And IPC is a lot of things to a lot of people. So in PPA, they have several different programs that go on, and they all take place kind of during IPC. So there's a merit and degree system at PPA where you can earn merits by having your images judged at IPC, and then those merits, along with other merits that you've earned by service or volunteerism or teaching, those merits are all combined, and when you have enough merits, you then receive a degree, and you get, I got my degrees here. you get a ribbon that you wear that has your degrees hanging from it. So like these are my degrees. I have the Master Wedding Photographer's degree, and I have the Master Photographer's degree, and I have the Photographic Craftsman degree. And the Master Wedding Photographer and Master Photographer's degree I received because I got enough merits on my images in the Photographic Open and Wedding Open competition at IPC to qualify for this degree. And then the Craftsman degree, where's my Craftsman's degree? This is the Craftsman's degree here. The Craftsman's degree is a degree that you receive for teaching. You don't have to actually put images in to get the Craftsman's degree. And it's actually the degree that I'm most proud of. This little bar here, this little blue bar, means that I've received over 100 merits just for teaching. And it's actually the thing I'm most proud of at PPA. And for a lot of people, this is it's a big milestone. It takes years to get the merits that you need in order to become a master photographer, or a master wedding photographer, or a master artist, which is the other one. I don't have the master artist, but that's for the Photoshop gurus. That's for the people. Master artist is all about the stuff that you do in post-pros. So this all takes place during IPC, the International Photographic Competition, where your images are entered and they are judged, and you get your merits and you work towards your degrees. At the same time, the images that are entered in IPC are also in the running of the competition for the Grand Imaging Awards. And the Grand Imaging Awards are awarded every year at the big convention, Imaging USA, in January. And there are categories, and you can win, the best in your category, and you can win the Grand Imaging Award, the Top Dog Award, which is the best image of the year. So IPC has always had these two things going on at the same time. And it's always been a little weird because it's sort of like if you said, I want to be a tennis player and I want to learn how to play tennis really well, and someone said to you, well, then you should enter Wimbledon. You're like, well, maybe one day I'd like to enter Wimbledon, but right now I would just like to, send my images into something where they'll be judged, and I can get some critique, and I can find out how to be a better photographer. Well, yeah, you can enter Wimbledon. I just want to become a better tennis player. Enter Wimbledon. Well, that's the way it's always been because IPC has combined these two things. Well, like a year ago, PPA decided, you know what, it's time for us to separate these two things because it's weird that we do it all in one big thing. So they separated the degree stuff. And now it's called Merit Image Review, and you can enter images every single month, and you will get judged, and you can get critiques, and judges will tell you what's right and what's wrong with your images and help you work towards gaining your merits so that you can get a degree at PPA. That's its own thing now and happens every single month, which leaves IPC and the Grand Imaging Awards to be something different, to be something new. So for the last year, they have been figuring out what this new thing is going to be, and it's starting to come together now. And I want to be very clear that we are still 7 months away from Imaging USA when I'm making this video, 7 months away from the big show. So there's every possibility that some of this stuff will change because we're talking about a first time, never been done before event that's going to take place live at a convention with 10,000 people. There are going to be some bumps in the road. There are going to be some things, some problems they didn't foresee, and there will probably be some changes along the way. So again, this is not the gospel. This is just what I know so far. If you have any real questions, go to Rich Newell at PPA. That's the guy who runs the whole thing, and he'll be able to help you and give you answers, or at least give you answers for now, because Rich will be the first one to tell you that things could change a little bit. So what is the new IPC? My nose is itchy. What is the new IPC going to be like? I think that PPA looked at it and they said, you know what? It's a contest. It's always been a contest, but it's also had this education stuff involved. But now that we've separated the education and the degree stuff away from the contest, why don't we make it truly a contest? Let's make it what it should be, which is a show. Right? A show, a contest to find out what is the best image in each category and what is the Grand Imaging Award winner. So with that in mind, look at sports. What's the best contest? Well, there's lots of great contests, right? You got the World Cup, you got the Super Bowl, you got tennis, you've got all these great contests. You got March Madness and the Final Four, but they all have something in common, right? They all use a bracket system. Although, I don't know about soccer because I don't watch soccer. Does the World Cup use a bracket system? They must, right? They all use a bracket system. It's always a giant bracket, all the teams, all the players, and they go head to head. And if you win, you advance. You win, you advance, you go to the next round, you go to the next round, you go to the next round, till eventually two teams or two people face off for the championship. Bracket systems, they are tried and true. They work. And they're exciting and they're fun. So that's what they're going to do with IPC. In the past, you entered your images and you had them judged by 5 judges, and those judges would give you a score, and those judges could argue, and they could talk about different things, and one judge could sway the panel, etc., etc. That's not the way it's going to work anymore. Now it's going to be a bracket system, and it's going to start at Imaging USA with 32 images. The best 32 images in each category. How many categories? 16. Yeah, 16 categories. I don't care what kind of photographic specialty you have. I don't care what it is you like to do. There's going to be a category for you. Okay? 16 different categories for you to enter. So are you a wedding photographer? Are you a portrait photographer? Are you a nature photographer? Are you a reportage photographer? Yeah, you're going to have a category to enter into. You can enter as many times as you want. Right now, I think it's $50 to enter an image, and the whole thing is going to open up on, I believe, July 15th. Again, this will all be on PPA's website, and I'll put the links below, and if I don't have the links, you can always just Google it. That's where you'll find all the hardcore information, but I believe in 2 weeks is when it's going to open, 2 weeks from me making this video, July 15th, 2023. That's when you can start entering your images. So go to the website to get all of the details. $50 an image, enter as many as you want, enter any category that you want. Now, how do we get to the 32? This is important. How do we get to the bracket? Because there will possibly be thousands of images that are entered. How do we get to the top 32? I love this. This is what's fantastic. All the images will be judged by judges individually, and then those scores will be aggregated, and we will be able to look at every image. Will have a final score, and you will know where it falls, right? The top 32 scoring images, those images will be the ones that go to the big show. They're the ones that go to the bracket in each category. Here's the great part. Do you know how many judges are going to look at your image? 15. 15. Yeah. Now, that number could change. If they get overwhelmed and get way more images than they thought they were going to get, well then, I mean, theoretically, maybe they might have to cut that down. Who knows? Again, this is the first year. We don't know what's going to happen here. This is the first year. But right now, the plan is to have every image be scored 15 times. Because what they want to do, and I think this is so great, what they want to do is they want to make sure that when we get down to the 32, the final 32, they go head to head at Imaging USA, we want to make sure that we've done everything we can to make sure that they are, in fact, the best 32. So one judge, one score cannot keep you out of the show because there's just so many people. And this makes sense because this is the way it is in the real world, right? If you want to make it to March Madness, it takes an entire season. It takes an entire season to make it to the playoffs in football. It's not just, one game and let's find out if you're in the playoffs. No, it takes a season. And so that's what this is. It's like a season. 15 games, basically, that you have to play to make it to the brackets, to make it to March Madness, or in our case, January Madness. So 15 judges look at everything. We get the top 32, and they go to Saturday, January 27th at the convention. That's the day that we start the whole show. Now, it's going to be a show. There will be 5 images looking, I'm sorry, not 5 images, 5 judges looking at the images. They will go head to head. There will be a bracket system. The images will come up. The judges will pick one image or the other. I like this one or I like this one. The winner moves on. I don't want to say loser, but the one who did not win is gone from the tournament at that point. Now, here's the thing. Just making it to the show on Saturday, making it to 32 means you are a winner. These will be medal rounds, and I don't know what they're going to call them yet. I think they're still trying to figure out what they want to call them. Is it going to be bronze, silver, gold? I don't know. So we don't know. Like I said, there's still details to be worked out. But everyone who makes the show, everyone who makes 32, they're going to be a medalist or awardist or whatever they're going to call it. So when it comes to trying to decide what your goals are in this thing, like if I was going to enter, my goal for the first year, probably for the first couple of years, because I don't think I would get there, my goal would be to just make the show, right? If I can make the show, if I can be one of the final 32, which means I had one of the best 32 images in my category, and I'm a bronze award winner, or bronze medalist, or whatever they call it, I'd be over the moon. I'd just be like crazy excited if that happened. And then, if I can make it to silver, if I can make it to gold, even better, with the goal of maybe one day winning the category, or actually winning the GIA. But I don't know that I'd ever get there because I'm not really that kind of photographer, but there's still plenty of goals for me to shoot for in the competition. Because, like I said, just making it to the show, being able to go on Saturday and see my image judged on the giant LED screens. By the way, this is going to take place in the main hall. If you've ever been to Imaging USA, you know the main hall, right? The giant room, the one where we have the keynotes, the one where we have the awards and degrees. It's all going to take place there on the giant LED screens. So just making it to that point, yeah, that's exciting, and that's a big deal. As it turns out, I'm not going to be entering the competition because I'm not allowed to enter the competition, and the reason is because I'm going to be hosting the competition. They asked me to come and host, and I'm privileged and honored to do it, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be just fantastic. And I'm so excited to be a part of something that's brand new. It's the first time we've ever done it this way, and I get to host it. That being said, be nice to me because I'm sure that I'll make plenty of mistakes. Talk to me in year 5. That's when we'll have things down. But first time is going to be, we're going to do everything we can to make it as perfect as possible. But I'll be there. I'll be hosting. So come and see me and hang out because it's going to be so fun to watch. Even if you're not competing, it's going to be fun. Images are going to come up and you're going to say like, I would pick that one, or I would pick that one, or I would love to see us have a bracket system where you can actually fill it out yourself on a piece of paper. I would. If it was me, I'd be like, let's see if I can pick the winners in each category, and let's see, so that's fantastic. Now, here's some other things about the competition that are going to be a little bit different. There will be 5 judges. The images will come up, they will pick a winner, and we'll move to the next image. There will be no challenges. Now, for those of you who have never competed in IPC, you don't know what that means, but for those of you who competed, you know that in the past, one judge could challenge and say, you know what, I don't like the final scores, and so I would like to have a moment to talk about this image and try and convince my fellow jurors to change their score, and then they would rescore. And challenges are one of the things that people loved about IPC, and I get that. I loved it as well. But when you think about it, no one else does it that way, right? If you're in the Olympics and you're in figure skating, when they give you your score, they don't then have a judge stand up and go, you know what, I don't agree with that score, and I want to try and convince all the other judges to change their score. It doesn't work that way. You get a score, and that's your score. And when you think about it, it's the Olympics. Just getting to the Olympics puts you at a level where you're already so high, right, that having that sort of debate almost becomes useless. Now, when we did IPC, yeah, because every image that got in was being scored by five judges, and you still do that with the merit image review. The judges who look at the merit image reviews every single month, yeah, they have discussions and they debate, etc. But at this level, 15 different judges have given you a score to get you to the final 32. At this point, it's just head to head and pick them. These images are not going to be far apart. And again, you're not competing for a score. You're just competing against the other image. And so a judge should be able to look at those two images and say, I like that one better than that one. Done. Enough said. Right? There's no score. There's no debate. There's no challenge. It's like, I like that one better than that one. Go. Next image. And I know that there's going to be pushback. I know there's people who aren't going to like that. But that's what MIR is for. IPC is not an educational opportunity. It is Wimbledon. You should already know how to play tennis when you get here, right? That's what this is. So there will be discussion, but there will be no rescoring. For example, as host, I will be able to say, hey, on that last image, it was 4-1. And there's only one judge who didn't say that image should move on, and that was you, Bob. Bob, why didn't you want that image to move on? So there will be discussion, right? And they can talk about things. We'll have that sort of stuff going on, but it will be brief, and then we'll move on, because this is the show, ladies and gentlemen. You're supposed to be at a point already when you get into this gig that there's no debate. They pick one, they move on. All right, so let the flaming begin. I know that there are going to be people that are going to be very unhappy for this, but also there's a logistics thing. You can't do head-to-head competitions, and you can't have it take 14 days. But even if that wasn't the case, again, no one else does it this way. Right? I liked it too, but no one else does it this way. So no, you get a score and you move on, or rather you win or you don't. So on Saturday, right, this would be January 27th, the final 32 go head-to-head, and it will be seeded, which means that the images that go into the final 32 that have the highest scores, those images, those 16, will go head-to-head against the 16 that had lower scores. That being said, I suspect that most of them will have scores that are very, very close to each other. Another reason they're having 15 judges look at them is so that they will have lots of decimal places in order to place them in the bracket. But that will maintain its seed throughout the competition. So if you are the number one seed, you will always go against somebody in the bottom half of the seeding. Now, who you go up against in that spot is going to be random. So it's not like number one goes up against number 32. Number one goes up against somebody between 17 and 32. That's going to be random. But number one doesn't go up against number two in the first round, and that's the way they do it in every single sport in the world. In the playoffs for football, if you're the number one team in your division, if you're the number one team, you don't even play a game in the first round. You get a bye, and then the first game you do play, you go up against a wild card team. Number one doesn't go up against number two in the first round. And it's the same way here. The top 50% go against the bottom 50%. That's going to be 32. They'll go head-to-head till you get 16. They'll go head-to-head again until you get 8. And they'll go head-to-head again until you get 4. Each time you move up, you are at another medal level round. You've just received another level. We get the final 4 by the end of the day on Saturday. It's going to take all day to do this. We get the final 4 by the end of the day on Saturday. And then it's time for the real show. And the real show takes place Monday night at the Awards and Degrees ceremony. And you've been to this if you're a PPA member. Every time I take a drink, I go, You've been to the Awards and Degrees ceremony. You've been to the GIAs before. So you know what that is, right? The big awards ceremony. At the awards and degrees ceremony, everybody comes. If you've gotten a degree, you come and they hang it around your neck and take your picture, and everybody's dressed up. It's a big deal. And then after that, they would always award the GIA Awards. Well, this year, not only are they going to award them on Monday night, but they're going to actually have the competition and the judging take place live right then, right after the awards and degrees ceremony. So we're down to 4. 4 images in each category. 16 categories, 4 images. Judges will be there. I will be there. Those images will go head to head. 4, then 2, then 1. And that image in each category will win the category. So you will have the best image, the best nature image, or the best animal image, or the best picture of a bride image. Well, again, there's 16 different categories, and you have to go to the website to get those categories. And those could change year to year. Who knows? And so you get down to the final 1 in each category. If you win your category, it comes with a $1,000 prize. Okay. Yeah, sweet, right? So now we've got 16 images. 16. Each one a winner. Each one the best in their category. It's time to do it again. We now have a bracket of 16, and we go head-to-head right there, live on stage, Monday night. 16 images, head-to-head, completely random at this point. There's no seating, right? It's random. The big screens, the images, bam, bam, these two go head-to-head. Who wins? This one moves on. Bam, bam, these two go head-to-head, right? It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. I'll be in a tuxedo, probably. And until we get down to 16, to 8, to 4, to 2. And there will be 2 images left. 2 people enter, 1 person leaves. 1 image remains, and that image is the Grand Imaging Award winner for the year. And it comes with a $10,000 prize. Yeah. Yeah. $10,000. Whew. Wait. Whew. I have the vapors. $10,000. A $10,000 prize. That's what the Grand Imaging Award winner gets. Right? Like my goal would just be to make the final 32. Can I make the final 32? That would be my goal. First year. It would probably take me a few years before I maybe got there. But then it'd be every year. Can I get higher? Can I get higher? Can I get higher? Can I win my category? Can I make it to the GIA finals? How high can I climb in the GIA finals? And here's the thing, when you think about it, if you look at everything you have to go through, to be the GIA winner, right, you will have survived 15 judges looking at your image so that you make it to the show, so you make it to the final 32. And then you will have gone head-to-head 9 times. That's crazy, right? I mean, when we get to the GIA winner, there's not going to be much debate. I mean, you can talk about I like this image or I like that image, but you can't say that image didn't walk through the fire to become the best image for the year. 15 judges judged it to get to the final 32, and then it beat 9 images in head-to-head competitions until it finally got to number 1. That is the GIAs. Yeah, that's what's coming. Again, subject to change. Remember, things, they're working things out as they go. It's the first year that we're doing this. And if you're involved in the PPA, things change all the time anyway, because that's what's great about the PPA is it's not like one set of people that run everything all the time. It changes all the time. We get new people on the board. We get new staff. And so things are always changing. I know people don't like change, but I love change because it's exciting. And that's how you grow. And that's how you find out what works and what doesn't work, is by trying new things and seeing what happens. Like I can tell you that this year, if one of the categories doesn't get a whole lot of people entering it, well, then that category probably won't be there next year, because the whole, and you've got to find the categories that appeal to the most people, because you want the best in the world to enter this competition. By the way, you have to be a PPA member to enter. So if you're not a PPA member, you need to join the PPA, and then you can enter. Here's the good news. If you want to join the PPA, did you know that the fee for joining the PPA has not gone up in 20 years? Yeah, it's been over 20 years since they've raised the fee at the PPA. Yeah, so yeah, it's a great deal. I've been a PPA member for years, and will be probably long after I retire from photography. I'll still be a PPA member. It's just a fantastic organization to be a part of. So there it is. That's what I've got for you so far. Things can change. Don't blame me if they do. I'm just the dancing monkey. I am Ryan Seacrest. I'm on stage, right? I have nothing to do with how they do things. I'm just the guy who's going to be up there, making sure everything runs smoothly from my point of view. But it's going to be fantastic, and I want to talk about it, so get in the comments and let me know what you think, and let me know if you think this is a good idea or a bad idea, or, get in there. But listen, be nice and be civil to each other. And because I'm not going to tolerate anything. As always, I won't tolerate anything like that in my feed. I will absolutely delete you if you can't be civil and have a nice discussion about it. So there it is. That's it. IPC. I'm trying to think if there's anything I forgot, because I knew this was going to be a long video. No, I think that's it. I think that's everything. I got to tell you, I'm excited. Maybe the most excited I've ever been. I've done a lot of stuff with PPA over the years. For those of you who aren't PPA people, you don't know, but I've done a lot of stuff with PPA over the years. And the reason is because I have a very unique set of skills, in that I had a 20-year broadcast career, and then I became a photographer. So you're looking for somebody to host something, then you're like, well, we need somebody who knows how to host things, but also knows all about photography, and that's kind of a small list, and so I'm on that list. And that's the reason that I'm being asked to host this year. It's not because of my unbelievable sex appeal or startling good looks. It's because I understand how IPC and competition works, and I understand how all of this works, and I also have experience hosting these sort of things for PPA, and that's why they asked me to do it. And I am honored that they asked me, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I hope that I will see you there, and I hope that you will enter, and I hope that we will have many heated debates and discussions about which images are going to go further and which images are going to be, the winners in the categories, because that's the most fun part of these sorts of things. There's nothing more fun than getting with your friends and looking at the people who are going to be competing, and then having a discussion / argument over who's the best. That's what's fun. You don't even have to be in the game to love to watch the game. And that's, I think, what PPA is going for now with IPC, and I really think they're on track to pull it off. So it is really going to be exciting and fun, and I will see you. First of all, I'm hoping you enter, but whether or not you enter, I will see you in January at Imaging USA for the new IPC. Thanks for watching.